In diesem Video geht es um Menschen, die eine Kirche so leiten, dass aus dieser Kirche heraus immer wieder neue Gemeinden entstehen. Regelmäßig, in regelmäßigen Abständen. Diese Kirchen, die schicken Teams mit manchmal 30, 40, 50 Leuten. Und diese Leute, die ziehen an einen anderen Ort. Die suchen sich einen neuen Job, die kaufen sich vielleicht ein neues Haus oder suchen eine neue Mietwohnung, um dann dort eine Gemeinde zu gründen. Und der Großteil von denen macht es ehrenamtlich, also ohne Bezahlung. Und es geht in diesem Video um Menschen, die eine Kirche so leiten, dass das möglich ist. Und die Frage ist ja, wie ist jemand, der eine Kirche so leitet, dass das passiert? Dass durch das neue Gemeinden gegründet werden, Menschen zum Glauben kommen und Menschen auch als Leiter wachsen. Denn dieses immer wieder neue Gemeinden gründen, setzt ja voraus, dass immer wieder neue Leiter da sind, die Verantwortung übernehmen und die auch andere befähigen. Und aus diesem Grund habe ich verschiedene Leute gefragt, was sind eigentlich die wichtigsten Eigenschaften, die ein Resource Church Leader mitbringen muss?
The key thing is that you're resourced well in your own walk with God and that you're able to draw on the resources of your faith as you go through the challenges of leadership.
It's about being someone who has clear vision. What is the vision that God has put on your heart? What is the vision that you're being called to do? And remembering that you can't do it in your own strength alone. That's why the Holy Spirit is given to us, to be our energy, to be our encouragement, to go before us. And when we feel depleted and when we feel like we're lacking in confidence, that we rest in the knowledge that this is the work of the Lord and that it's not first and foremost our work. We just get to partner in what the Lord is already doing in a community.
Having a clear vision of where you want to go and what you feel like the Lord is leading you in, that's very important. So the ability to be envisioned, to share that vision and to carve out a strategy with people.
Okay, I think there's 3 important skills for a resource church plant leader. I'm sure there's more. But the first is a strong sense of vision and direction, a key theme. I think if you know where you're going, what you're doing, what God has called you to, what your purpose is, what it is that you specifically as a leader and as a church and as a community are there to do, that's really important because without vision, I think the whole thing falls apart. So there's vision, and then I think you have to be good with people. I think it's just such a relational role to be leading a church plant, to be part of a church planting church. You have to have real relationships, and even if it's a big church, finding ways to get to know your congregation, to get to know their skills, their talents, and have vision for them. There might be something that they've not realised yet that they are gifted in. Enabling them to be released into those things, I think, is really important. So, relational.
I think one of the key skills is working with other people, because you're going to work with so many different people and a diverse number of people. So just really simple things like listening really well to people, being able to understand where different people are coming from, having just kind of those key skills of reflecting back what they're feeling, thinking, so they really feel understood, and being able to be perhaps sometimes in some awkward situations and then be able to respond well. And I think a lot of that comes down to not just the skills, but also the character behind it, being really like Jesus, full of the fruit of the Spirit, you know, being so loving and joyful and peaceful and patient and kind, all those things. But another key thing is building teams, because here at Patcham, we have this vision of growing All Saints and then sending a team to revitalise the Ascension Westing and then planting a new church into a third area called Hollingbury. Now, I can't do that all on my own, so I've got to be able to build teams. I think it's Paul that talks to Timothy about finding reliable people within the church who can train others. And that's part of my role, finding people that I really trust, who'll be reliable, who'll be really good, and then delegating whole chunks of work to them so it isn't all falling back to me. It can't be dependent on me. It's dependent on Jesus, but not on me. And so building those teams, training them is going to be really important.
If people don't go with you, you're just going for a long walk on your own. And so The ability to bring others with you is very important. So that means communicating, but also empathizing with other people, understanding what makes them tick is really important. Also, there are practical skills that are really important. So just being able to manage other people well, get the best out of them, look after them, pass to them well. The ability to organize buildings and finances is really important in our context. And I suppose just the ability to make people feel safe, but to challenge them appropriately, to both help them feel secure, but also help them feel passionate about where you want to go, where you feel like God is taking you, and why you need to make that journey from where you are now to where you might be in the future.
I would say one of the most important things is not being stuck in your ways, being agile, being a pastor who is willing to flex a little bit, to work with what is going on around you, because every neighborhood is going to require something different. Paul, in the New Testament, he writes about, I've become all things to all men so that some might be saved. And being a pastor in a location requires you learning the context, being agile and willing to listen well to the community around you.
And then you have to be generous, because if you're sending away your best people, your best leaders, your best resources, you can't do that whilst being stingy and holding on to things. You have to be willing to be generous and let it go and trust that God will return to you what it is that you've given away, which is a biblical principle that as we give, God returns and restores to us what we've lost. But if you are not generous, you're not going to be able to do that in the first instance. So I think generosity is really, really important as well in church planting and being a resource church plant leader.
And having fun. It's a fun job. To get to be involved in ministry is not boring. We get to see the God who created the heavens and the earth want to do new things in a community. And so we get to have a lot of fun with friends along the way. So create a good team, people who you can have a laugh with, people who you can play a bit of sport with, people who you can have meals with. Whatever you want to do, just make sure that it is fun as you do it.
Jetzt hast du gerade gehört, was verschiedene Leute sagen, was ein Resource Church Leader braucht. Und mich würde interessieren, ist es für dich was jetzt eher abschreckend wirkt, oder ist es was motivierend wirkt? Also denkst du eher, oh krass, das hört sich ja nach einer coolen Aufgabe an, in sowas würde ich auch mal reinwachsen. Ich wäre auch gerne eine Person, die so leiten kann. Vielleicht im kirchlichen Kontext, vielleicht aber auch woanders. Bist du eher auf der Seite und motiviert dich das? Oder ist es für dich eher abschreckend und du denkst, oh krass, so kann doch keine Person sein, das geht doch gar nicht, funktioniert doch gar nicht. Schreib's gerne mal unten in die Kommentare, wie das auf dich wirkt, diese Ansprüche an so eine Person, die leitet. Und dann freue ich mich, wenn wir uns im nächsten Video wiedersehen. Wenn du das Video nicht verpassen willst, dann darfst du gerne den Kanal abonnieren, das freut mich. Und dann sehen wir uns im nächsten Video. Ich wünsche dir Gottes Segen und mach's gut.